Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to go over, I did a poll where I asked what kind of investor you are, and there was a little bit of confusion on what fit what, right? Because a lot of times we think that a dividend investor is also an income investor, and a dividend growth investor is also an income investor. And I kind of threw one in there that kind of threw everybody off too, because I just put dividend investors. So I kind of want to go through, I want to say 3 different scenarios, and I'm going to offer you up a calculator that you can plug in your own numbers and see what works for you. Because this is going to be surprising on what actually works. High yield, does high yield work? Does slow growth, higher yield work? Does low yield, higher growth work? Which one works better? And honestly, the answer is it depends. It really, really depends on your personal situation. I have some opinions about it, and I'll share that with you. So if you're new to the channel, please give me a like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I go over different investing strategies and income strategies for the everyday person, to be honest with you. I'm not a rich man. Most of my viewers are probably just like me, just normal, everyday Joe. And I appreciate all you people in this community, because after I did that poll, I realized how many people actually are involved here, and I really appreciate that. And also, if you would like, if you would like to support me in a small way, I do have my Amazon link down below. It'll be in a pinned comment. If you use it, I do get a small commission off qualified purchases that you make. You don't have to buy the product that my link links you to. You can buy whatever you'd like, and I get a small commission from it. So if you do that, I'd really appreciate it. So let's get into it. This one might be a little long. I don't know. I kind of ramble along, as you notice. But the calculator is from Buyupside.com. And I have 3 different scenarios here that we're going to talk about. And the first one I'm going to talk about is high yield. We all like high yield, right? It sounds great. Get a 10% dividend and give me my cash now, and it'll compound faster. That's true to a certain extent. So what I did was on all these calculators, I have 4 going, because I want to show something right at the end. So if you stick around to the end, you'll see the one that works the best, in my opinion. So the first one, I'm going to have them all have starting initially with $10,000. And then what's going to change is the dividend yield, the annual change in dividend yield, or the dividend growth. You're all going to have 50. This is annual new cash to portfolio, and this is a percentage value, so I'm going to put 50%. So you have an initial portfolio value, $10,000. You're going to invest 50% of that every year for 20 years. So you're going to invest $5,000 every year for 20 years on top of your $10,000 initial investment. In this scenario on this page, we have a 10% initial dividend yield. And normally with high yield like this, you get no dividend growth. Okay? So we have 0 in the annual change in dividend yield. So let's go ahead and look, and we'll click calculate results. And you'll see on this calculator, you have a few things. You have your yield on cost, You have your dividends paid without dividend reinvestment, the portfolio value without dividend reinvestment, the dividends paid with dividend reinvestment, and the portfolio value with dividend reinvestment. So if we go down, you'll see at about year 20, because you can scale this and run this calculator yourself, but at year 20, that $10,000 investment that you've put in $5,000 of your money for 20 years, so you invested a grand total of $110,000. After 20 years, with assuming that everything works out, of course, and that you get 10% of your dividend every year, your portfolio value with dividends reinvested would be $379,230. And it would be providing you at that time, after 20 years, $34,475 in annual dividend income. That's pretty good considering you only put in $110,000. So let's keep that one in mind. So our next one is a little bit lower yield with a little bit of dividend growth. So for instance, this is $10,000 with a 7% dividend yield. This is something like an AT&T, for instance. An AT&T has a 7% yield and a very small dividend growth rate of 2%. And we're going to do the same thing. 10% initial. We're going to add 50% or $5,000 per year for 20 years. And let's go ahead and click Calculate Results. And we'll go down to the year. Now you'll see your yield on cost changes because you have a 2% increase in your dividend yield every year. So at the end of 20 years here, your $110,000 invested turns into $333,780. And you're getting a annual dividend of $31,447. But the advantage here, though, you know what? Let's stick with this. Let's just go with this for now. The last one will have the big advantage. So the next one. So we had the 7% with a 2% growth got us at year 20, $31,447 in annual income. The 10% yield with no growth got us $34,475. So right now the 10% is in the lead. So now we come to our third scenario. And the third scenario is $10,000 invested, a 3% initial dividend yield, but a 8% increase in dividend yield every year. So an 8% growth rate of your dividend. And we're going to do the same thing. 10,000 initial, 5,000 invested every year for 20 years. And let's click Calculate Results. And we'll go down here. After 20 years, your $110,000 invested turns out to be $309,263. But look at the dividend income. At year 20, you have $37,939 in annual income. So did you think the $10,000 or the 10% yield would have got you more? Because that got you $34,475. The 7% with a yield got you $31,447. And the 3% yield, but with an 8% growth rate, got you $37,939 in annual dividend paid. So, here's my opinion. My opinion is the longer you have to invest, the more the dividend growth rate matters. So if you're young, if you're 18 to 30, I don't know, I'm throwing out numbers, there's no math to that. You really should have no business in a 10% yielding fund, because there's no advantage to it to you as far as dividends are concerned. Because if you have more than 20 years, this one with the 3% yield and an 8% growth rate will far outpace anything else. Now, you'll see the total portfolio value of the lower yielding portfolio is less than both of those, but your dividend income is growing, and here is where the advantage is. So you have $309,263, right? Your portfolio. Let's say you want to retire. Let's take a calculator here. Let's say you wanted to retire, right? So you have $37,939 coming off of that $309,263. So to figure out your dividend yield, your current dividend yield on that, you take the $37,939 and you divide that by your portfolio value, which is $309,263, equals, you times that by 100 for percentage. So you have a 12.226% dividend yield, right? So let's say you wanted to retire. What does that do? So I already punched in these numbers here. You have initial value, portfolio value of $309,263. You have your initial dividend yield, which is your ending dividend yield, 12.226%. You have an 8% change in dividend yield, but you are no longer adding any more cash to this portfolio. And we're retiring, and we're going to retire for another 20 years. Okay? And we'll calculate the results. And I don't want you to pay attention to this dividend reinvestment, because we're not reinvesting the dividend. Just pay attention to these first three columns here: your yield on cost, your dividends paid, and your portfolio value. So theoretically, your portfolio value will stay the same, but look at your income. Year 1, $40,949. Year 2, $44,000. Year 10, $81,857. Year 20, $176,723 off dividends and dividend growth. You're not adding any more money into this. You are taking money. Now, what would happen if you just kept going with this 10%? Well, you'd get, this is what you would get. You would get $34,475 for eternity if you got 10% all the time. So you'd never have any income growth. Here you have income growth, so you need to keep up with inflation. So which is the clear winner? The low yield with the dividend growth is the clear winner, but is it right for you? See, it's all going to depend on your needs. And that's where, a lot of people, get confused is they get caught up into what other people say they need to do. But it's really all about what you need to do, right? If you have to, if it's like whether you live or not, or able to pay the bills or not, and you need this 10% yield right now, and you have $300,000 to throw at it, and you need that cash flow right now, maybe that's the way to go for you. You know what I mean? I would rather see at least be in the low growth. Let's say if you can get away with getting the 7% with a 2% growth, you want some growth in your dividends, because when you retire and you're not investing anymore, you need your dividend yield to keep growing. If you're in Social Security, if you're collecting Social Security, at least that will have a cost of living adjustment. And you really need your dividends to have that same dividend increase, or cost of living adjustment is basically what it is. So this one is pretty telling. If you have 20 years, I'd say don't reach for yield. Look for a respectable yield, but a good dividend growth rate. If you've got any kind of time ahead of you, do that. That's my opinion. What do? I do a combination of almost all of it. And is that right or wrong? I don't know. It's what I'm comfortable with doing, because I have some high yield. I have some high yield, low growth. And I also have some low growth or low yield, high growth. So it really depends on what you're comfortable with, your situation, and your goals, your timeline. All that stuff comes into play. So whenever anybody says what's best, I don't know. You got to figure that out. And I hope I can share with you some tools and things like that, and some of my experiences that hopefully can help you along. So I'm going to leave the links down to these calculators down below. Feel free to use them. Tell me what you think down below. What did this open your eyes a little bit on high yield and growth and income investing and all that good stuff? Leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Hope you enjoyed. Leave me a like, comment, subscribe. Use the Amazon link if you so please. I would appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye. I am not a financial advisor. The information contained in this video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. It is not intended to be investment advice. Please seek a licensed professional for any investment, tax, or legal advice. Thank you.